want to ask you first, what was it like to kind of have the CW reunion, especially with your like Flash compatriots, Jensen and Jesse coming back?
I know it was so crazy. Jessica and I were both like, "This is insane," that we like had so many nights together in Vancouver and dinners and it was so sweet to see her. And then Jensen, like we were in that same world, but we hadn't met. But it's all one and the same. It's all like one big family.
Yeah. Well, I love just kind of that alum kind of coming back to Prime in general. And it does really create this atmosphere where you can all kind of, work together and you know each other's ticks. One thing that I love about your character is she's kind of the BTS, she's the brains of the operation. She comes up with these really creative ideas to solve problems. And I've been noticing that in shows like this, they're putting women more and more kind of in those roles. Why do you think that is? What is it about a womanly brain that like screams smarts?
I mean, yeah, exactly. I would say that it's probably underrepresented in the way that it is in the real world as well. And so I'm honored. I mean, I'm honored to take that position. And Evan is such, not only is she incredibly intelligent, but she's also humble, which maybe a little too humble. I'm like, no, you did some crazy stuff this season. Like you cracked some of the codes and like I think that comes with maturity as well of just like owning the things that you're able to bring to something.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in that way it's been really fun to play.
Well, what was it about the role specifically that kind of spoke to you that you're like, oh yeah, I want to do this?
I loved that there was somewhere to go. So like when you first meet Evan, she is absolutely the rookie, greener than green. And that means that there's only places to develop. There's only like more to see about what she wants to do. Where does she want to be in this field, in this career? Does she want to run the whole thing one day? So it kind of like started me in a place where I could just explore from there. And I think that was really exciting.
Well, there were some scenes kind of in the first few episodes where, the leader will kind of call her in specifically, and there'll be some looks from the other guys like, oh, what's this about? And it runs into that unfortunate kind of stereotypical workplace thing of like, oh, he must be sweet on her and blah blah blah. Like, God forbid she have the credentials and the action
Yeah.
kind of back it up. What was it like kind of being able to embody that? Like, was there anything that you kind of brought to that character that kind of reacts to situations like that?
Well, I think Derek did such a wonderful job because he didn't fall into those tropes that could so easily happen on a show like this or in any kind of environment like this. And, Jessica and I, we don't have too many scenes together, but like it could have very easily in the beginning been like, oh, who's this chick? But pretty much right away. And I think it also helped that both of us were like, there's no way that that's going to happen either. Like we were like, no, why would we care? Like, we want more women doing these things, being in the same positions as us, like kicking ass. So I think it kind of, from the beginning, that I wasn't worried about it. And I think we all were on the same page with it.
I love that idea because, of course, there is always that stigma of like there can only be one, and that is so untrue. It's like
Yeah.
we can have as many of different types of people as we want, kind of in the show.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the idea of kind of, so we have Jessie who's very strong and she is like physically strong and she can kick butt and take names. And then we have Evan who has her own kind of strength within like being analytical and finding things. There is an equitability in that strength that I think sometimes gets overlooked, especially when it comes to female characters. I feel like
Yeah.
when they say female characters need to be strong, then
Mhm.
they mean physically,
Yeah.
whereas that strength is kind of overall. Tell me about the idea of kind of portraying Evan's style of her strength.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe people think that because it's what you see right away, right? You see muscles or whatever it is, you see that strength. But I mean, I think strength, no matter how it is, if it's physical or emotional. Emotional strength is, I think, the hardest for anybody to learn or to understand or to be able to, um, show. And for Evan, like, I think it's all she's known. I think in like she's just been the top of her class. To her it almost comes easy. It's like anybody who's great at something. You look at a magician, right? And you're like, how do they do it? And to them it's just another day at work. So I think for all of these characters and for Evan specifically, like she's going to do what she does best and what she knows how to do. And I think that's why there's a few times when she sort of cracks open things in the case in this season and she's almost like surprised, like by everyone else's surprise. Well, yeah. And there's this, like I said before, this um humble nature to her that I'm like I appreciate because yeah, you should be humble, but also like, I look forward to the day where she's like, duh. Of course I did that.
Well, it also speaks to the importance of having any type of diversity, the idea that you have
Mm.
different thought processes and different lenses of seeing these things through. I
Yeah.
know that within the show, you get a script and you get a character outline, but was there anything in Evan that you really wanted to portray that maybe wasn't necessarily on the page?
I think it's important in any type of show or any type of character just to show as much depth as you can, to show the little corners and the pockets of who a person is. And it's tricky because you don't always, you form ideas in your mind of what you want, and then by episode 5 you're like, well, never mind. That's not what's happening, but it does help you inform, how your character moves through the day. And something that Derek also was really focused on was that, like, yes, we all have our individual things that we excel at, but we are a team and anyone can jump in at any point and do something else. So like as much as Evan is behind the computer cracking codes and doing all of that, she also, she gets in the field and she does these things, and that for me was really fun as well because it kind of stretched me. Like we did extensive gun training, and like I haven't we were looking around at each other one day, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I played a cop in this. I played a cop." I was like, "Guys, I've never played a cop before," and they were surprised, which I was also like, "Really? Like you cop? Like you see it?" But yeah, so for me, I think that aspect was really interesting, and I look forward to that. If and when a season 2 happens, of just like getting out there more and seeing what else she can do. Because if she does want to, I don't know, run this thing one day, you have to be able to do all the different aspects. So that's what I would look forward to.
Was there anything in terms of, because you mentioned a couple of ways that Evan is different from you yourself, but was there anything that you have kind of gleaned or learned from her as a character and even her growth throughout the season?
I think that she feels very pure to me, which is really sweet. Because we all, we've all gone through things and seen things, and like I don't consider myself a hardened person. I think I'm still pretty optimistic, but I think that there's something so kind and genuine about her that I think we can all learn something from, and she really deeply cares about something so much bigger than herself, which is always a good lesson. So yeah, I think that would be it.
It's such an archetype to kind of take a character like this and then turn her into like the manic pixie dream girl or the kind of idiot savant who's like, well, I was just asking, what are we going to see from Evan for the rest of the season? And just generally without any spoilers.
Well, I think as the season unfolds, you get to see a lot more interpersonal relationships with everyone,
Mm.
sort of who their family is and what they're going through. And so with Evan, you get a bit of that. And I think it adds another color to her as well. It does kind of, it speaks to the thing that I was just saying about how she's pure even through all the stuff that you have to deal with, and you see some of the things that are happening within her family, and sort of the, the many hats she has to wear. And I think it's a nice sort of depth and color for her.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking a little time to talk with us about the show. I'm really excited for everyone to see it. And congratulations, you're fantastic in
Of
it.
course. Thank you so much. Thanks.